This is the moment we've been waiting almost 9 months for. Finally, an end to empty stadiums at the elite level of football, the top level of the game in England. It's been a real struggle for so long for the Premier League to persuade the government to let the fans back in. And even though it's a really moment of serious concern, the death toll from the coronavirus exceeded 60,000 today. The Premier League have managed to convince the government that at least 2,000 fans can come into these games. I mean, it's only a maximum of 2,000 fans at this stage, and there is that big disparity that's causing some concern across the league, because while we can have some fans here at Arsenal, in North London, in Manchester at Old Trafford, the stadium will remain completely empty. But go down the road half an hour to Liverpool and you'll be able to have 2,000 in at Anfield. The atmosphere in the stadiums has been so lacking. It's been quite despondent at times, even when you've been at some of the biggest games when so much is at stake, and inside the stadium it's just largely silent and there is no atmosphere at all. At home, at least, so many people are getting that artificial sound, but it would be quite interesting if you're watching with the real noise from the stadium. It could be quite quiet because, of course, they're only up to 2,000 fans and they are being encouraged not to necessarily sing loudly because that can spread droplets, which could spread the coronavirus. So even though we are getting the fans back into the stadiums, the atmosphere isn't close to returning. And even though the fans are back, it's not going to generate nearly enough money for the clubs to fill that lost income, that months and months without the crucial money coming from fans. In fact, they're going to be running these games at a loss still because so much infrastructure is needed around the stadium to support just the return of the 2,000 fans. This has been one of the things for so many months of this pandemic, particularly lower down the leagues where their revenue is so reliant on the fans going into the stadiums. They haven't got the big television deals like at the Premier League level, and for them to get the fans into the EFL has been one of the things that so many have been pushing for, to start to show fans can come in safely, then they can gradually build up the numbers, which can then start to secure the finances coming in from fans, which can protect the stability financially of the clubs. But what we've also now seen is the Premier League has agreed to a rescue package, a bailout with the EFL that will supply grants and loans to the clubs to help them if they are in the desperate need that could mean their survival is at stake. Tottenham hasn't been at top of the league at this stage in the season since the mid-1980s. This late on in the season, they've never been top of the league, and obviously it's the newer stadium as well. It's cost £1.2 billion to build. There's a lot of debt on it. Tottenham are the most desperate of the clubs to get fans in. They've also been missing the NFL games where they get crucial revenue from that, and there's obviously that huge desire to get some of that fan noise back in to also help them, because their form has been better away from home than it has been at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so perhaps they'll get that extra lift from them. We've seen some really sort of disappointing moments in terms of the moments you'd hope the fans would be in there for, like when Gareth Bale came on for the first time on his second debut just a few weeks ago. The moment he scored his first goal would have been a huge roar of the fans. Those moments are the ones where you realise just what it would mean to have fans in there to share in that moment. It's been quite a lonely experience for the Tottenham players and for Jose Mourinho. So to have the fans back in there, I think they'll really feel that energy and that lift from being able to show the fans the team that's been doing so well this season so far. It's not happened for decades where Tottenham are hosting Arsenal in a North London derby where Tottenham are top of the league, and you think of where both clubs were a year ago. Tottenham had to sack Pochettino, Arsenal chose to sack Emery, and it's now Tottenham that have been revived under Mourinho, really going strong this season, and Arsenal, it's just really gloomy and despondent for Mikel Arteta. We saw it yet again on Sunday with that defeat to Wolves, just how bad it's going. I mean, they're so low down the table, they're really falling off the pace, yet a North London derby, the excitement of that, the fans returning into the stadium, something to prove, could be just what Arsenal need to try to turn a corner, because otherwise questions are seriously going to start to be asked about Mikel Arteta. It's fine they're through in the Europa League to the knockout stage, and that could secure a route back into the Champions League, but if they aren't getting close to that top four, then they're going to be missing out on that crucial revenue from UEFA, from the Champions League. fans took it for granted perhaps over so many years, finishing in the top four under Arsene Wenger, but now it's that stability that they do crave again. And you just look at the team, there's so many questions. Obviously the ongoing one about why Mesut Ozil has no place in the side. Why is he being completely ostracised when Arsenal are in need of that creativity? Why is Aubameyang unable to find the net at all? He's just struggling for form completely and confidence in front of goal.